Congratulations on paying off that 6.5% mortgage. It is a massive milestone that deserves celebration. You have eliminated a monthly payment and secured a home free of debt. That feeling of relief is real and powerful. But here is the hard truth that few people discuss. You may have just made a financially costly decision that limits your future wealth. This is not about shaming your choice. It is about understanding the hidden opportunity cost and the liquidity trap you have just created. By the end of this video, you will understand why being debt-free is not always the optimal financial state, and how the math of leverage might have served you better than the emotional victory of freedom. Let us start with the most immediate impact of your decision. When you pay off a mortgage, you are effectively making a guaranteed return on your money equal to the interest rate you avoided. In your case, that is 6.5%. That sounds like a solid return. However, we must compare that against the alternative. If you had kept that cash and invested it in a diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds, historical data suggests you could have earned between 7 and 10% annually over the long term. This means every dollar you used to pay down the loan was a dollar that could have grown at a faster rate elsewhere. This creates a negative carry trade. You are giving up a potential 3 to 4.5% annual return just to eliminate a liability. Over the life of a 30-year loan, this difference compounds into a massive sum of money. You are essentially paying a premium for peace of mind that the market does not reward. The emotional victory of having no debt is real, but it comes at a quantifiable price that reduces your net worth over time. Quick resource note: I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. Now consider the nature of the asset you just created. Before you made that final payment, you held a liability. You owed money to the bank, but that money was non-recourse. This means if things went wrong, the bank could seize the house, but they could not come after your other assets. You had a built-in safety net. By paying off the loan, you converted that liability into an illiquid asset. Your wealth is now locked entirely inside the walls of your home. You cannot sell a single brick to pay for a medical emergency or a sudden job loss without refinancing or selling the property. This creates what financial engineers call a liquidity trap. In a recession, when asset prices are depressed and credit spreads widen, cash is king. People with liquid reserves can buy assets at fire sale prices. People with all their wealth tied up in home equity are forced to sell at the bottom or face foreclosure if they cannot make payments. By eliminating your debt, you have removed your optionality. You no longer have the choice to defer payments or default if the economy turns. You have removed the failover mechanism that leverage provides during systemic shocks. Think of your financial system like a software architecture. Maintaining the loan is a resilient design with redundancy. You have cash reserves that can be deployed instantly. You have the option to stop paying if the system crashes. Paying off the mortgage early is a single point of failure strategy. It removes the ability to pivot. If the economy enters a downturn, your fixed-rate debt becomes a massive advantage because the real cost of that debt declines over time due to inflation. You are paying back the bank with dollars that are worth less than the dollars you borrowed. The narrative of debt freedom often ignores this inflation hedge. A fixed-rate mortgage is a hedge against inflation. The nominal value of your debt remains constant, but your income and the value of your assets tend to rise with inflation. By paying it off early, you are essentially locking in the value of the dollar at today's rates, which is a losing bet in an inflationary environment. You are giving up the benefit of paying back the loan with cheaper currency in the future. Furthermore, there is a tax-advantaged nature to mortgage debt that many overlook. In high-tax jurisdictions, the interest you pay on a mortgage can be itemized as a deduction. This effectively lowers the real cost of the debt. If you are in a high tax bracket, the government is subsidizing a portion of your interest payments. By paying off the loan, you lose that tax shield. You are now paying full price for the capital you used to buy the home, whereas before, the tax code was sharing the burden. The optimal financial state is not zero debt. It is a balanced risk profile where the cost of capital is lower than the expected return on deployed capital. If you can borrow at 6% and invest in a diversified portfolio that returns 8%, you are making money on the spread. This is the engine of wealth accumulation for most millionaires. They do not own their homes free and clear. They use leverage to amplify their returns while maintaining liquidity for opportunities. The question you must ask yourself is whether the peace of mind you gained was worth the potential loss of wealth. For some, the psychological benefit of being debt-free is worth the opportunity cost. That is a valid personal choice. But from a purely mathematical perspective, and considering the need for liquidity during a recession, the decision to pay off a 6.5% mortgage early is a suboptimal strategy. You traded a flexible, tax-advantaged, inflation-hedged liability for an illiquid asset that cannot generate returns. So, did you win or lose? You won the emotional battle for freedom, but you may have lost the mathematical game of wealth maximization. The smartest move is often to keep the debt, invest the cash, and maintain the option to pay it off later if your situation changes. True financial freedom is not about having no debt. It is about having the liquidity and the optionality to survive any economic storm while your wealth continues to grow. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.